Do you know where the Smithsonian is? I'm here to pick up a... Is it a fossil or an artifact? I think it's a fossil, but artifact sounds better. I'm Olivia Squizzle, and today I have a really funny video. It just sort of started happening, and I started writing things down, and I was like, yep, that works for me. So this is Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as amusement park rides. I don't know how exactly this was inspired, but I do know the first one that I thought of was right after I saw the movie initially was the film Thor: Love and Thunder. Which, coming out of the movie theater, I was like, that was a roller coaster. So I've decided Thor: Love and Thunder will be a roller coaster. It's really wacky. It really, has a lot of ups and downs. It's, kind of all over the place. A little wacky, a little wild. It's crazy. I know some of you might not think it's a very good roller coaster, but I enjoyed it. The next movie is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I chose the free fall for this one. It's fun, but it's very straightforward. It's kind of simple. It's like, whoa! But there's not a lot to it. Because I felt like that movie, the acting, the cinematography, it was on point, but at times the plot was a little... I don't know if that was my opinion or something I saw online. That movie was just kind of straightforward, fun, simple, in my opinion. This one, I'm gonna save that one for later. Ooh, let's go with WandaVision. There's one clear pick. There's one option. It's a fun house. Come on. It's wacky and always it just makes sense, Just makes sense. Moon Knight is the roundup, the really spinny ones where you stand up and you're sucked to the wall. It's totally wacky. You kind of come out of it you might black out. It's kind of how he does that in the show. That's how the roundup makes you feel. What if is the random kiddie coaster that's actually great? There's always that one that it's oh, that one says it's for little kids, and then you get on it and you're like, that was really fun. That was solid. That was a little spooky. Loki, this one, I don't know if it makes sense. It just feels right to me for Loki to be antique cars. I can't explain this one. It just makes sense to me. Oh. Shang-Chi took me such a long time to figure out. I was like, what? I was like, it's something that's kind of fun and classic and simple. It's just a very straightforward, very fun ride. There's nothing bad about it. There's nothing absolutely it's just, and I was like, it's not quite iconic enough to be the Ferris wheel. And then I was like, the Scrambler. It's always a fun time. You're always gonna ride the Scrambler, and you're gonna enjoy it. It just makes sense. Okay, next we have Hawkeye as the Grand Carousel. If you don't know, a Grand Carousel is the ones where you catch the ring. Because Hawkeye, the whole thing is aiming, and you have to have good aim to catch the rings. But aside from that, it's the kind of ride that's classic, because Hawkeye's obviously one of the most he's a classic character. He's original 6. It's one of the classic rides, but it gets overshadowed by everything else. A lot of people don't like the carousel, but it's a lot of fun. And if you're cool enough to ride the carousel, you're gonna have fun on the carousel. And when it's an amusement park, you're might be the last thing you ride. But when you see it, at a playground or something, it's the first thing you're going to. You know when they have those parks and there's just like a. Come on. Next is Werewolf by Night. I did not watch all of this, but there was this ride at the amusement park I grew up going to that was called the Space Odyssey. It was like a building. You went inside. It was completely dark and it was really fun. Like, and there were like flashy lights and you spun around really fast. It just sort of makes sense. You get in a creepy building and you have a great time. The Eternals is a seesaw. No one is gonna. No one's gonna ride the seesaw at an amusement park, and it would only be fun if you had another person. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is the fishies. You know, like the kiddie ride. It's just kind of there. You just kind of get in it. You just kind of go around. Nice. No Way Home is the swings. Here is the philosophy behind that. It's that, the movie starts to build and it gets like bigger and better and faster and funner and you're spinning around and you see everything and it's great. And then it just kind of stops and you're back on the ground and you kind of feel sick. You know? I actually don't get sick on the swings, so it's not very a personal connection for me, but Oh, Miss Marvel is the swing buggy. Like, the ones that you just spin around really fast to the fun music? Like, it's always a really aesthetic ride. Like, it's iconic. It's kind of iconic, but it's like kind of indie, fun, quirky, different. Okay. She-Hulk is like you're going on a ride that you don't know is a water ride, and then all of a sudden you're just in the water and now your clothes are wet. And some people are like, man, my clothes are wet. I hate this. I'm never riding that again. And then a handful of people are like, whoa, that was like such a cool surprise. I love that. You know? Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's the train. Just kind of, you know, goes around. Not that revolutionary. It's ground level. Just like the show is. The Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special is if you took the train and had a Christmas party on it. It's like down to earth, not much happening, but now there is something happening because it's a Christmas party. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is like this one ride that was at my local fair that was a mousetrap roller coaster. It like was it had like cheese and like mice on the outside and it was like looked really cool. But then you went on this ride and it was like a little compact roller coaster, but it was like really kind of rickety and it kind of terrifying and not always in a good way. Like at times you were scared like it was gonna fall apart or something. And I feel like Multiverse of Madness was one of those that it was like good and enjoyable, but there is something a little sketchy at times. So then that gets us to Black Widow is, the big giant slides. The like fun, iconic, like kind of nostalgic big like burlap bag slides that you go down. But the catch is there's always like such a big climb to get to the top. It just kind of takes out half the fun. Like this would be great if we didn't have to climb 80,000 stairs and wait like a year and a half for this movie. Like Black Widow was just the most chronically like late movie in the MCU. It should have came out before Captain Marvel and we got it. It should have came out instead of Captain Marvel. and then it just kept getting delayed, and it just magic out of it, and I feel like that's kind of how the slides are, you know? I was so proud of myself for coming up with that. Anyways, that's all the movies, but I threw in a bonus that is, all of Wanda Maximoff's character arc as the boat. You know, the Pharaoh's Fury. It goes back and forth until you're nauseated. And you just don't know why. That's all I have for this video. So, see you next time, and enjoy your day.